Golfunity, the most popular golf infotainment podcast in town.
Okay, let's unpack this deep dive. There's a definite feeling right now, isn't there?
Yeah, like a sense of inevitability, especially with the world #1 playing like this.
Exactly. And then you have Jack Nicklaus, the host, seeing echoes of his own game in Scottie Scheffler.
Right. The legend, looking at the current dominant force. That convergence, it's a great place to start.
So yeah, this deep dive, it's all about the Memorial Tournament at Muirfield Village. We're using these articles and notes you've provided.
A good stack of info.
And our mission really is just to pull out the key insights. What happened? Who stood out? What did the conditions tell us?
And what does it all mean, especially with the U.S. Open just around the corner?
Yeah, exactly. And Muirfield Village. Well, it's Jack's place. Always a tough test.
Oh, absolutely. Purpose-built for it. The course itself is always part of the story there.
For sure. So let's dive in. The key takeaways, and I guess we have to start at the top, don't we?
Yeah, seems like we often do these days. Scottie Scheffler.
Unsurprisingly, yeah. He gets the win. Your sources, they detail it well. Second straight win at the Memorial.
Puts him alongside Tiger Woods, the only guys to go back-to-back there.
Yeah.
Pretty elite company.
And it's, his third win in his last 4 starts? Just dominant is the word everyone's using.
Absolutely. And the sources dig into why. It's not just the ball striking, which is obviously incredible.
No, it's this mental thing, right? Staying in the present.
Yeah. Apparently something he's really worked on for years, since college even. Focusing just on the next shot, the current hole.
It's fascinating, that level of commitment. Not dwelling on wins, not looking too far ahead.
Seems like a genuine superpower for him, complementing the physical talent. You shared that note, Jordan Spieth calling his ball striking.
He'd be the best there's ever been. Yeah, high praise indeed.
Coming from Spieth, who's seen a lot of great golf up close.
And then the Nicklaus comparison, Jack himself watching Scheffler saying,
"He plays a lot like I do." That's significant.
Yeah, focusing on fairways, greens, keeping it in play, that strategic, almost calm execution.
Nicklaus liked that it wasn't just about who could put the lights out, but about that fundamental tee-to-green precision.
Which makes sense, because Scheffler leads the tour in strokes gained tee to green.
Has done for 2 seasons now. That's the bedrock, just like it was for Nicklaus.
And your sources also highlight his closing ability. 8 straight times he's won when holding the 54-hole lead? Yeah,
something like that. When he gets the lead late, he just doesn't let go. That's a killer instinct.
But going into Sunday, that lead wasn't guaranteed. Ben Griffin really pushed him.
He absolutely did. Your notes mention his great start, leading after round 1 with a 65, even after hitting 2 in the water.
Shows some serious game right now. And he got to 10 under on Saturday, right? 3 straight birdies.
Yeah, he was flying for a bit there. Looked like he really believed he could take it.
But Muirfield Village, it bites back.
It sure does. He hit that wall. 4 straight bogeys, and then that missed short putt on 18 Saturday.
That was the killer. Gave Scheffler the solo lead.
Yeah, a tough moment. But Griffin finished second, 4 shots back. He called it a fantastic result, a big step.
And he said something about proving he belongs at the top, right? That's a great takeaway for him.
Definitely. A confidence booster, for sure.
Okay, speaking of eventful weeks and belonging at the top, Jordan Spieth.
Oh, yeah. The usual roller coaster. Adventurous golf, some great caddy interactions reported, too.
You shared that one from the 5th on Thursday. Deep in the rough.
Caddy suggests chipping out, playing it safe for par.
But Spieth may be a bit frustrated. He's like, no, I'm going for this. Hacks it out, onto the green.
And then drains the putt for birdie. Classic Spieth.
It really is. And the drama kept coming Sunday, first hole tee shot into the crowd.
Yeah. Thankfully missed everyone, but still, tough spot in the rough. Manages to save par.
And Friday on 11, taken off the shoes and socks by the creek.
Thinking about playing it from the hazard. Ends up taking a penalty drop.
But then hits that amazing flop shot to save par anyway.
You just can't script it sometimes. His short game is just unbelievable, that resilience.
Totally. He was right there, tied with Scheffler on Saturday, but just couldn't keep pace Sunday. Finished T8.
And he was pretty candid, wasn't he? Saying, with Scheffler playing like this, you can't expect mistakes. Someone else needs something special.
Yeah. His week really showed how you navigate adversity on a course like that.
And the course was a huge factor. The conditions were brutal.
Multiple players like Justin Thomas, Keegan Bradley, comparing the rough to a U.S. Open.
That tells you everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One source said players were just trying to hack it 70 yards back to the fairway sometimes.
Wow. Just thick, grabbing rough. Plus, rain earlier made it play longer.
It was a serious test. Scoring was tough, especially Saturday. Average was near 74.
And the cut at 5 over par says a lot, too. It really lived up to that Nicklaus standard, that major-like feel.
Definitely.
Okay, moving beyond a leaderboard. There were other big stories brewing. Rickie Fowler had a massive week.
He really did. Finished T7, and that got him into the Open Championship at Royal Portrush.
That's huge! As the highest finisher not already exempt, right?
Exactly. And he needed a clutch up and down on the 18th to do it. Delicate pitch from the rough to about 2 feet.
Wow. That's pressure, especially after missing the Masters this year.
Yeah, he's been open about wanting to get back in those majors. Your notes say he's even going to the 36-hole U.S. Open qualifier.
Golf's longest day shows his commitment. He's really grinding to get back into those big events.
Absolutely. You have to respect that drive.
And the Memorial, it also kind of highlighted the ongoing, well, the backdrop of the whole PGA Tour LIV situation.
Right. Your sources mentioned it was the 3-year anniversary of the first Lovey defections happening that week.
And the 1-year anniversary of that surprise framework agreement announcement right after the Memorial last year.
Yeah, and the reporting suggests there's still, a little progress on actually bridging that gap. Talks are happening, but quietly.
Victor Hovland had some comments, didn't he? Saying it feels like a different timeline, but they miss some of the guys.
Yeah, kind of resigned tone, maybe.
Even Jack Nicklaus commented, saying he was a little bit surprised Rory McIlroy skipped the event this year.
Just another small sign of how schedules and commitments are maybe shifting a bit.
And Scheffler had some interesting comments, too, suggesting the onus is on the guys who left to figure out reconciliation.
Delivered with a bit of dry wit, apparently, mentioning Levy wasn't playing those mints anyway.
So the sources paint this picture of two tours largely separate except for the majors.
And the Memorial upping its purse to $20 million is part of that competitive landscape, even if mandatory attendance isn't as strict now.
Right, allowing guys like Rory to make different choices.
And finally, there was that big news confirmed about the Tour Championship format changing.
Yes, that's a significant shift. Starting this year at Eastlake, no more staggered start based on points.
Back to a traditional 72-hole stroke play event. Everyone starts at even par, all 30 players.
And ironically, Scottie Scheffler, who won under the staggered system last year, was apparently a big critic of it.
Yeah, your sources quote him calling the old format silly. He strongly approves of this change.
Other players like Justin Thomas seem to agree, feeling it's a clearer way to find the best player that specific week.
Gives everyone in the field a more straightforward shot at the FedEx Cup title itself.
But it sounds like this might not be the only change coming to the finale.
Correct. The Tour is still looking at things. How players qualify for the Tour Championship, maybe making it tougher.
Adjusting the field size, potentially?
Potentially. Yeah. And also how the bonus money is split between the regular season champ and the Tour Championship winner. They want to get that balance right.
So it's still a system very much in flux, evolving.
Definitely seems that way.
Okay, so looking back at everything from the sources, it was, well, Scheffler's dominance on a tough course, Griffin's challenge, Spieth's adventures,
Fowler's clutch qualification, and then all that background context on the tour structure and the FedEx Cup changes.
Yeah, putting all those pieces together. The player mindset, the course challenge, the individual stories, the bigger picture. It gives you a much richer understanding of where pro golf is right now.
Absolutely. It's more than just the scores.
It really is. And thinking ahead now to the U.S. Open at Oakmont, and another beast of a course, these insights feel pretty relevant.
You see Scheffler's method that Nicklaus-like in the present, fairways and greens approach, working on a demanding track.
And then you see Spieth relying on that incredible short game, that improvisation, that resilience to kind of scramble his way through.
Two very different ways to tackle a tough test.
It raises an interesting question, doesn't it? Comparing that sort of process-driven presence versus the improvisational grit. What does that tell us about handling extreme pressure?
Yeah, what's the better toolkit when things get really difficult? Or is it a blend?
Makes you wonder what approach ultimately holds up best when the margins are almost zero, like they'll probably be at Oakmont.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on as the players get ready.
For sure. It'll be fascinating to watch. Head over to our social media.
Yeah?
Tell us what you think.
Let's hear it.
And give us your predictions for the future of golf.
Until next time.
Keep it in the fairway.
And hit 'em straight.